All right, so now you force ranked based on value to you and to your team. Now I want to challenge you to say to yourself, what is the one thing, maybe there's more, but what's the one thing that number one does that maybe number two doesn't? Okay, good, got that. What's the number one thing that your number two does that your number three doesn't? You may have competencies, you may have skills, but don't get into the minutia of all of that. Just what is it, right? What's the real thing that that number one person does for you and your team that your number two person doesn't? And work your way down that list until you're out to your number 9 and 10, right? What is it that your number 9 person does that makes you value that individual on your team just a little bit more? And when you have that written down, that's where you start to lean in. Because if you can coach your number 2 up to be equally as valuable as your number 1, then all of a sudden you're stronger because you're gonna have a harder time determining who to keep, right? Who to protect as your number 1. And if you do that every single quarter, what happens is you are helping folks elevate to the next level, okay? And eventually, if you do this quarter after quarter after quarter, guess what happens to that number 10, who constantly is getting the feedback that they need to be as valuable as your 9th hitter, 8th hitter, 7th hitter, 6th hitter, and eventually they're hitting leadoff, right? So again, once you force rank based on the value that they have on your team, and then you start coaching folks up to be more valuable to you and your team with real life experiences, real life conversations. That's how you elevate a team, and that's how you sustain the win. Let's get up and go together.